Hello YouTube. Today I'd like to give you guys a comparison of the Cranbrook 26-inch beach cruiser versus the Kent Seachange. I recently bought these and even the female version of the Seachange. I recently purchased these because we're getting ready to take a trip and there's lots of bike trails where we're going to go. And rather than rent bikes for $30 a day, these were on sale at Walmart for $98 I believe. And I had them shipped to me and put them together, and we're just gonna bring them with us, and hopefully they don't get stolen, and we'll enjoy them and save some money, and then when we're done we can sell them if we want. But I thought you guys would like to know two of the probably most popular bikes on Walmart, which one, you know, first impressions, and which one I would recommend. So to start it off, let's go to the Cranbrook. The Cranbrook is a Huffy. First thing you'll notice on the Cranbrook is the frame design is a little different than the Kent, and it is seems like it's a little more sturdy. Some of the welds on the frame are not quite as nice. It does have fenders that have supports. They're definitely more like stable and durable than the Kent. If you look over at the Kent, you'll see that on this one it's just mounted here and down there, but on the Cranbrook you got these supports in the back and a little reflector, and then on the front the Kent just has it mounted right here, and then the front of the Cranbrook you have this support down here. And in my opinion, the Cranbrook has nicer fenders, has a bigger chain guard than the Kent. Kent's chain guard is a little smaller. Chain guard doesn't really bother me so much. I don't generally wear like baggy long clothes, but I suppose if you did, I think they'll both provide adequate protection so you don't get tangled up. The other thing about the Cranbrook is the handlebars. The handlebars are much nicer in my opinion. They have less of an angle for the grips. It makes it more comfortable for riding. Whereas the Kent, I don't know what they're doing with these handlebars. They're kind of oddball because you see I have them kind of in line with the frame, but they really project upwards. And if I rotate them back more, you know, they almost get in the way of my knees. I'm kind of a tall guy. I'm about 6'1", 6 foot half inch, and I'm a little big for these bikes, but yeah, I can still ride them. They say they're good for up to 5'10", but probably for someone under 5'10", you can rotate those bars back a little and they'll be fine. But for me, I prefer the Cranbrook bars. And let's see what else. When I opened up these bikes out of the boxes, I ordered 4 of them. So I had 2 Cranbrooks, 1 Kent, or 2 Kents, and the female version of the Kent. This one looks like it's got to tip over a little. And it's a little breezy here today, guys, so I'm sorry if there's any wind noise. But I ordered 4 bikes, and when I opened the first box for the Cranbrook, it had damage. There was no damage to the box, but the bike had fender dents on the back here, real bad. The front wheel was really wobbly. It wasn't true at all. And then on the second bike, the rear wheel wasn't true at all, and it had a defect inside the rim. And when I pumped the tire up with some air, it just popped it because there was a sharp edge in there. And that one, it was not true. And so I was able to take the 2 wheels, switch them, and I got one good bike. I ended up contacting Huffy support, and they said they're going to send me parts, but it took about a week to hear from them. I haven't seen anything or heard anything or got any tracking. I'm not holding my breath. We'll see what happens. But the Kent came out of the box pretty good. The only thing that I found was the fender here. It had some scratches on it, little dents right here. In the front there's little paint chips. It's not too bad. I'm gonna be honest, you know, that one, it's fine. Oh, shoot. Okay, it's pretty breezy here, so I'm gonna move this bike over here. Okay. So it's a little breezy here, guys. The girl's bike, it came out of the box fine. It hasn't seen the ground until just then. So I did put a phone mount on here. I like the max miles. I like this one in particular. You just squeeze your phone. So if you got a phone case, it works pretty good. I've never had one fly out, and I've been riding hundreds of miles on my other bikes. This one's a little different. It can rotate. It's not very resistive to rotating though, and your phone can set right in there. They both work pretty good. And the difference between riding these bikes, the seats are almost the same. You can see the stitching on the Cranbrook's a little different. They both have very little spring ratio. So for a guy like me that's a little bigger, I weigh about 229, I'd say. The seats are actually kind of comfortable. The springs actually work for me. I'd say they're probably on the soft side. This seat is one-piece molded, like leather material, where that one's a stitched one, and they're both pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna complain because the springs really help. Overall, these bikes, they're really fun to ride. They're single speed. They're coaster brakes, so you pedal backwards, hit the brakes. And for the money, I mean, it's a bike and it works, so you know, you get a lot of bang for the buck. But these bikes are very light, and it's not because they have high quality components. They are very light because they're very cheaply made, and they skimp on metal. The rims are cheaper. All the metal on the bike is cheaper. Everything about the bike is built very cheaply. The tires, inner tubes, the way they protect the inner tubes from the spoke. I forget what that's called, but that piece of rubber is so thin it doesn't do anything. The biggest fear you have with these is getting a flat tire, because the inside of the rims aren't really protected very well, and then you know you gotta reinforce that with your duct tape or buy a rim. I forget what they're called, but like a rubber piece that goes in there. But I'll give you a quick demo ride so you can see what kind of noise they make, and we'll go from there. Okay, so these bikes, they have plastic pedals, which are really cheap. I think they'll be fine. We're not going to put a ton of miles on these bikes, but if anyone really want to keep them for a long time, they're probably going to have to upgrade them. There are some reflectors. You know, you got one on your handlebar here, and I think there's one on the fender of the Cranbrook. And the gearing on this bike is really not bad. Here's a little hill here, and I gotta really crank on it, you know. But if I stand up and pedal, these handlebars are really comfortable for standing up and pedaling. And overall, you can see how true the wheel is. Let's see. Try and coast here. It's pretty good. This bike now, remember I took the one wheel from the bike that was bad that I got, put it on here, and now I'll switch to the other one. And as you can tell, it rode just fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Didn't make any weird noises. Coaster brake works okay. The bearings in the rear wheel, I feel like they could be a little better quality. All right, so here we go on the Kent. So Kent's in motion here. And the one thing you'll hear on both of these bikes is little tiny rocks. They get flicked up and they hit the fenders. But there's no crazy odd noises. There's a reflector on this one, and I believe there's one attached to the seat post. But like I said, the handlebars on this bike, I don't really like so much. they angle up too high. So my hand, while it's comfortable, it's not as comfortable as the Cranbrook. I'd rather have them have a sharper bend down and be a little taller. But that's pretty much it. And the girls' bike, hold on, show you guys that one. The girls' bike's actually really good looking. So if you guys are in the market for a girls' beach cruiser, this one's actually, it's pretty nice. My wife likes it. I think the gearing is the same between the two bikes. I haven't checked that. But if anything, the girls' bike, it might be one tooth taller somewhere, or it's a little harder to pedal. I'm not positive. I'd have to actually take the numbers off of it. But you know, I hope this helps anyone that's looking to buy one of these. You get your $100 worth, that's for sure. And if you're planning on going on a trip and you have to rent bikes, for the cheapest bike where we're going, it's $30 a day, which isn't bad. But we can bring 3 bikes. There's 5 of us going, but not all of us are going to ride at the same time. So if we're going to be there for like a week, and if we rented bikes for 5 days, that would be $30 per day per one bike. 5 days, $150. For 3 bikes, that would be $450. That right there pays for these 3 bikes. And my plan is to bring them home and sell them once I'm done, or maybe keep 2 of them and just sell 1. So they'll pay for themselves. So for our trip, it'll be money well spent. And where we're going, there's a boardwalk, and we can ride pretty much all over the island and stuff. So it'll be a good time. But that's pretty much it. If you're looking for a Cranbrook 26-inch beach cruiser, a Seachange, Kent Seachange 26-inch girls cruiser, or even the boys 26-inch Kent Seachange, they're all good. My preference is the Cranbrook overall for a boy, because it has reinforced fenders. They're bigger, they're stronger, the handlebars are better. And oh, one thing I want to mention, every bolt on this bike, on the Seachange, or not the Seachange, on the Cranbrook, is pretty much a 15mm wrench, except, you know, your coaster brake and a few of the smaller things are Allen's, but everything is a 15mm. Your wheels, your handlebars, your axles, but on the Kent, they're all different. So you see on this one, the handlebars is a socket. You'll look at the man's bike, it's a 13mm. They're all different. So putting them together, hands down, the Cranbrook is definitely simpler. You only need like 2 tools, three tools maybe if you adjust the coaster brake. But yeah. So that wraps this up. I hope that helps. I'll give you a long-term review when we get back, see if we have any problems, and we'll do an updated review. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helps anyone, and have a great day.